We're just going to shift gears a little bit, and Gail Roddy, who is one of our co-hosts here, is going to talk to us a little bit about performance art. And I know that's something that you do around the Twin Cities, so tell us about that, Gail.
Well, this is a relatively new thing for me, and it's just a passion for me because I love bringing multi-generational women together. But they can be 10, they can be 90. I love bringing them together in conversation about the life passages that all women go through. So it's exciting for me to perform in various venues. I've performed at bridal showers, I've performed at birthday parties for 10-year-olds, and I have a series of small vignettes that I perform in these situations, and I absolutely love it. It causes immense dialogue even among the 10 to 12-year-olds. It brings immense dialogue even with the 85-year-olds that I've performed for. So performance art is simply a performance where it's generally one person, but it can be more than one, where you're performing where your whole body is involved in the dialogue, in the monologue. It's kind of like soliloquy. If you know what soliloquy, it's like Shakespeare's Hamlet, where he's saying to be or not to be, where it's kind of talking out loud. That's kind of what this is I'm talking out loud for women of different generations.
So how did you stumble upon this art?
I stumbled upon it simply by doing it. It's always been a joy for me to perform, to speak, and so I just kind of jazzed it up with costumes and things like that and found out at over 60 that I absolutely love it.
That is awesome. Well, with all of that, up next, Gail will actually do a demonstration of a short performance entitled Life Passages. I'm excited to see that. Thank you so much for joining us on It's a Woman's World.
Good morning. Today's my 18th birthday. I'm supposed to be a grown-up now, right? I get to smoke cigarettes if I want to. I get to go to the casino and gamble if I want to. Not old enough yet to buy alcohol, but that's okay. Beer is gross and makes me sleepy. In a couple of months, it'll be time to go to the prom. I went to the prom last year with Jacob. This is the senior prom. I'm sure he'll ask me again. What a snooze fest that was last year with Jacob. Mom thinks he's a cutie and says, what an intelligent and wonderful young man. Yeah, right. And then after prom, in a couple months after that, I'll graduate. And then it's on to college. Yes, I'm going to a college 500 miles away from this town and my family. I get to finally be who I am. For 18 years, I've lived according to how my parents want me to live. And I'll get to date whomever I want to date, whomever I'm attracted to. No more dating and sleeping with nice young people. But is that the right way to live? Aren't I supposed to be a dutiful daughter? I've lived 18 years the way my parents expected me to live. Shouldn't that continue? Aren't I supposed to live a life where they're not ashamed of who I am? They don't know who I am. I've never dared to let them know. And you know, in reality, I'm ashamed and terrified to let anyone know who I really am. Perhaps I shouldn't be revealing this experience, for I'm sure there's no one here who knows what I'm talking about. Good morning. Happy Saturday. This is my last Saturday as a single woman. Next Saturday is my wedding day. It's going to be a wonderful day. I can't wait. You know, my mom has just pulled rabbits out of hats to help me plan and put out all the things that need to be done for 200 guests. My mom is the greatest mom, the greatest, smartest woman in the whole world. I'm so excited to be getting married. You know, my fiance and I, Morgan, we had a fight last night, a big fight. We have had quite a few fights over the last 6 weeks, but it's just stress. You know, everyone would say, that happens to everyone. It's just the stress of the upcoming wedding. Don't worry about it. I know I love him, and he loves me. We're ready to get married. That's for certain. We're both 26. We're out of college. We have a fantastic career going. He loves his career. Me, meh. Let's just say that I'm moving further into it. About a week ago, Morgan and I sat down to a dinner that he made. He's a much better cook than I am. And he asked me, is everything set for the wedding now that all the invitations have been sent? And I said, absolutely, everything's good to go. You can't get out of this now, buddy. I saw a flash of terror rise up in Morgan's eyes, and his lips drained of their color. And I thought to myself, isn't that same flash of terror I saw in my own eyes the other day when I was standing in front of the mirror brushing my hair? And I wanted to ask Morgan, do you hear that screaming in your chest that screams, no? Perhaps I shouldn't be sharing this experience, for I know there's no one here who knows what I'm talking about. Good morning. That was a wonderful party last night. Oh, my head is pounding though. You know, normally 2 glasses of wine is my limit. But the caterer filled it up again, and me, like a silly, stressed out goose that I was, I drank that 3rd glass. It was a party last night that was hosted by my friend Martha. Martha's a tenured professor, brilliant, gifted woman. And she always gives this big extravaganza party at the end of the academic year and invites all her learned friends. Martha has lots of academic letters behind her name. So does her husband, George. Now, I'm not intimidated by people who have a different lifestyle than I do. I can hold my own in any kind of conversation. But those learned, tenured professor friends of hers, they are a little bit intimidating. And they ask that question every time. Where do you teach? I don't. Well, then what is your profession? I didn't finish college. I went for a couple years, didn't like it, so I dropped out and never went back. But I don't tell them that. They don't need to know that. It's not important. I simply stand up straight and proud and say, I'm CEO of my own company that I started at my kitchen table 15 years ago. We employ 25 full-time and 5 part-time staff. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And I do. And I do feel successful. But how come this morning I'm lying here thinking about all the little slights that those people said to me to make me feel like I'm lesser than they are? They did no such thing. That's all in my mind. I feel I'm successful. But how come I have those moments when I feel like a fraud? How come I have those moments when I feel around certain people that I am just an imposter? Perhaps I shouldn't be revealing this experience, for I know no one here knows what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.